Hello. I want to introduce you to the practice called following the breath. It's also sometimes called breathing meditation. Breathing meditation. This is maybe the most well-known meditation practice there is. A lot of the time, this is the practice that's given to beginners, to people who have never meditated before, and for many people, it's the only meditation they ever do. So, it is a practice that uses the breath as our anchor for our meditation practice. The breath. So, the breath is what guides us back to the present moment. So whenever we're pulled out of the present moment, we just bring our attention back to the breath, and it brings us back here. The breath is a useful focus because it's always with us, and it's something that we don't really attach a lot of significance to. We don't think about our breath unless we're not breathing, right? Or if we're breathing very heavy or something. If there's not a problem, we're not really thinking about the breath. And it's also literally the connection between us and the outside world, right? I'm breathing in my environment. So it's the way my environment comes through me and goes back out of me. It's a really direct connection to the world around us. And I think it's something we never think about. So I'm going to lead us in the practice. And so first, I would like you to sit up as straight as you can. I have always found that when I start to slouch, I'm gone. I'm not in this moment at all. So sit up as straight as you can so that your spine is straight. And then figure out a way to arrange your legs. I like to do cross-legged or the half lotus, which is just sort of 1 foot up, 1 foot underneath. But any way you can sit, as long as you think your legs aren't going to fall asleep, and as long as it's a position you can hold for a little while. That's what's important. You have to be able to hold it for a little while. And it's important to have a plan for what your legs are doing, because if you don't have a plan, your legs are going to be a point of distraction. Okay? And then same thing with your hands. It's important to have a plan for what your hands are doing, because if you don't have a plan, then your hands will be a point of distraction. So there are 2 different versions I recommend. One is called the Cosmic Mudra, or Buddha Bowl, it's sometimes called, and it's just one hand on top of the other, thumbs gently touching. You can do either left on top of right or right on top of left, and just rest that in your lap. I like that one a lot. And another one is called the Relaxation Mudra, and that's just hands on your knees. Hands on your knees, that's it. The point, again, like the legs, the point is that we have a plan for what we're doing so that our hands aren't a point of distraction. If we have a plan, then we're less likely to fidget, okay? And then lastly, I like to meditate as an eyes open practice. Some people advocate doing it with your eyes closed. I daydream when my eyes are closed. I think a lot of people daydream when their eyes are closed. So I suggest open eyes and just look at something that's not going to distract you. So if you have a blank wall, look at that. If you don't have a blank wall, that's okay, because what you can do is shift your gaze a little bit downward and just look at part of the floor. Just find something that's not going to distract you. And we will begin. I like to begin meditations with the healing breath, so we're going to do that. So the healing breath is a counting controlled breathing practice, and it helps us center ourselves and get ready for the meditation. Okay? And it involves breathing very slowly. So we breathe in to a count of 5, and then we hold our breath to a count of 5, and then we breathe out to a count of 5. Nothing helps you get centered and practice focusing on the breath more than not breathing for a few minutes, I think. Few seconds. So I'll show you what it looks like now. I'm breathing in. Holding my breath. Breathing out. So I'm going to say, let's do that 3 times together, okay? And I'm going to just tell you what to do. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out. Now, we're going to stop controlling our breathing, but we're going to bring our attention to our breathing. So, what I want you to do is just be present, bring your attention to your breathing. You can either use the breath coming into and out of your nose as your point of focus, or use the rise and fall of your belly as your point of focus. A lot of people that have trouble focusing on the nose like to bring to the belly instead. I've done both. I don't see one as easier than the other, but whatever feels more natural to you, whether the breath coming in or the rise and fall of your belly, bring your attention to that. And take a moment to reflect on how this is happening all the time. Our belly's always rising and falling. There's always breath coming into and out of our nose, and we don't think about it. So we're going to use our breath as our anchor into the present moment. So bring your attention to your breath, and every time you start to get distracted, or you start to remember something, or you start to daydream, or you start to think about what you're doing tomorrow, bring your attention back to the breath. Place your attention back on the breath. It's going to be really hard at first, but we're going to keep doing it over and over. And some people find it really helpful to do a practice of counting. And that sort of serves to strengthen the breath anchor a little bit. We say on the in-breath, you mentally count 1, and on the out-breath, mentally count 2. So that way you remind yourself every time you start to think, I wonder when this meditation is going to be over, just bring your mind back to 1 on the next in-breath. And just be with your breath. And it's very important to not beat yourself up, but just go back to 1. So we don't want to think to ourselves, damn it, I lost the breath. We want to just go back to 1, okay? So that's what we're going to try to do for just a few minutes. I have set a timer here, so we're going to go until my little timer goes off. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. In 1, out 2. In 1, out 2. So that was my little timer. Our meditation is complete. I want you to close by taking 2 big, deep, heavy breaths. That was my introduction to the practice of following the breath, and I hope it's been helpful to you. Have a good day.